Hi everybody, and welcome to our first Wildcat Weekly Coaches Report of the year for the Linfield football program. Joe Stuart here with you on the LSN with head football coach Joe Smith. Coach, we are just a couple days away from the first Linfield football game since November 2019. Gotta be feeling good.
Absolutely. It's just awesome to be back home, and we got great weather, and it's great to be here.
Couldn't ask for any more, right? All right, so obviously this last year has been, I'm sure, unlike any other in your entire coaching career, with no games last season and not being able to spend as much time together. What have you and your staff done to continue the continuity of the program and make sure that the players have understood that that standard of excellence is still going to be there, no matter if, you know, there aren't as many meetings, no matter if there isn't a game on Saturday, all of that?
Well, I guess ultimately we'll see if we did, but we certainly tried, and you know, it's just hard to, you know, last year I just pretty much want to not even talk about it. It's over. But we worked really hard last year, and the guys did everything they could within the rules and within the, you know, letter and spirit of the law, so to speak. And I'm really proud of them. They worked really hard. So it's just been wonderful to be back as a team in person and getting the young guys, letting them have a chance to be around our older guys. There's so much to learn from guys that have been here 4 or 5 years, and it's you know, it just takes time. Nothing great comes easy, and there are no shortcuts. So you gotta just spend that time together, working hard together, doing things the right way, and then pretty soon that becomes habit.
Yeah. And obviously you return a strong offensive line and one of the best quarterbacks in the country with Wyatt Smith. But other than that, there are a lot of new faces offensively. Colton Smith, the only really returning pass catcher with significant playing time in 2019. How have you seen the development of the chemistry here in the preseason between Wyatt and all that new talent around him?
That's certainly been a concern, and will continue to be so. And I think we'll find that continuity and that connections, if you will grow, you know, week to week. It just literally takes hundreds of plays. So I guess we'll find out on Saturday, you know, where we are with those. We have a lot of talent in that group, and that young receiver group's very talented, and it will just take time and some growing pains to get those connections, you know, going with the quarterback and receiver. Obviously, losing Weiss, you know, was such a security blanket for Wyatt, particularly at that slot position. So we'll see how that goes, but I expect it to go well.
Sure. Who are some of those young guys that you expect to play big roles, at least here through the first couple of weeks?
Right. Well, on the outside, you know, Devin Murray and Colton Smith obviously are our most, you know, Colton's got it, you know, had a great year, so we expect that to continue. And you know, Isaac Hoytle's really stepped up on the outside. Chance Sparks, you know, Peyton Person always has a lot of experience in our offense too. And then on the inside, you know, Peyton will play some inside, but Joel Valdez and Spencer Lee, you know, those two guys really have shown some you know, high potential on the inside, and I expect them to get the lion's share of the snaps.
Sure. So I mentioned the O-line, but the D-line also a very solid group. Really, those two of your most experienced position groups coming into this year. How important is that battle in the trenches going to be for this team to reach their full potential?
Well, you know, you just take last week's game for Idaho. You know, it was pretty lopsided, but if you lose up front, you lose the game. Sure. And you can sometimes make up for that, but on defense, if our defensive line is winning the battle, we're going to be very good on defense. And same with our offense. If our offensive line is able to get a little push in the running game and keep Wyatt upright, then I expect Wyatt to have a great day, you know. And so our defensive line right now, we think has the chance to be very dominant. And if they're able to exert their will and get after the quarterback like I expect them to, then we should be strong on defense.
Defensively, you've got two great leaders in the secondary, a shutdown corner in Tyler Sinton and then Tyler Bergeron, who you've moved from monster to safety. What do you expect out of that group, particularly with those two guys leading the way for that back end of the defense?
Well, those two, you're right, have really been tremendous leaders, and they've got a lot of game experience and a lot of physical aptitude to go with it. So, you know, those two guys should dominate, and they're going to lock down that you know, boundary of the defense and the middle of the defense. So I think, I know we expect great things from those guys. The other corner, you know, John Setti and Colby Tamayo, those guys, you know, are really battling, and I think they'll do a fine job on the boundary side of our defense. And Jet Searle and Ben Baxter have been great filling in kind of as the other safety, and those guys, it's their time. They've been working hard, and now they've got to step up and play.
Yeah, and so on Saturday, your opponent, Simon Fraser, D2 from the GNAC, and they just came off their first game of the year against D1 Idaho. It was not a great outing for them, but of course, anytime you're going up against a D1 program, it's going to be a difficult matchup. What is the number one thing for your team on Saturday to not be caught by surprise from Simon Fraser? What is the most important thing to be prepared for after seeing what happened on Saturday?
I think Simon Fraser's just physical prowess is probably, maybe the biggest thing that goes into it, as well as it just being our first game. And so the first game jitters, just things in the kicking game, the timing, just, offensive system approach in terms of, the controlling the snap count, all those game mechanics that are hard to simulate in practice, that we'll get better at as the game goes on. And so, just it being a real game and just the game mechanics itself takes a little bit of time to get used to. So, those probably worry me more than anything.
Sure. All right, well, this Saturday, the Wildcats' first game of the year, and the first game here in the Cat Dome since November 2019. Against Simon Fraser University, kickoff 1 o'clock. We'll have live coverage starting for you on the LSN at 12:30, but we sure do hope you can try and make it out for the first game here in a while.